Hello and welcome to this webinar, taking on a visit of the white hat hackers. In reality, all hackers are and need to be good to be able to crack the other attacks and be black to be white. Now, in recent years, we've been shown that network security is more of a concern for both private government entities that has ever been. Those who are serious about their network vulnerabilities take a proactive approach and try to find them before hackers and other ill-intentioned individuals can exploit them. However, to find these vulnerabilities, you need to be able to think like the people who are seeking them. This is where ethical hackers, also known as white hat hackers, appears. And as I would say, I've had my good share of hats, black, white, or sometimes a blackish shade of gray. The darker it gets, the more fun you have. And I'm going to be your host. I'm Kris. And who is Kris? Here's a list, but I'll try to cut it short. While you can read it, I'll just bring about the most important parts. More than 21 years experience in IT, security, auditing, cyber warfare, cybersecurity, as we say. Lead trainer and a go-to person with the DOJ. I've also been the winner of the SACA 2013 Heroes Award for Outstanding Achievement for Contribution to the IT Governance Profession. I possess a set of certifications and never stop learning. I continue to work. I continue to be a consultant. Now, you see, your host is an alien from the background. Happy to see you. Now, your security is always at risk. But why is that? Yeah, cybersecurity risk management is a long process, and it's an ongoing one. You're never done with it. That being said, it's important not to get fatigued immediately or think cybersecurity risk is something you can pass along to it and forget about. Cybersecurity affects the entire organization, and in order to mitigate your cyber risk, you'll need to onboard the help of multiple departments and multiple roles. Your finance team could play just as large a role as your IT team in some areas. More importantly, if you fail to take the right precautions, your company and your customers and vendors could pay the price, which is not what you really want to happen. Now, interestingly, we have three types of hacker types, or hackers hats: white, gray, and black. We're also having red, blue, green, and it's ongoing. It will never stop. But the real question, what is a hacker really? The basic definition of a hacker is someone who uses a computer system to gain unauthorized access to another system for data, or who makes another system unavailable. Now, these hackers will use their skills for a special goal, such as stealing money, gaining fame by bringing down a computer system, or making a network unavailable, and sometimes destroying them. However, there are three different types of hackers, as I mentioned, but each with a particular goal, and not all are the bad guys. The three types of hackers are white, gray, and black. Each of the hacker types are here for a different reason, which is a cause or both. All have the required skills needed to accomplish their mission. At one end of the spectrum is the black, and at the other spectrum is which is the one who, well, basically, the black hat hackers are evil and malicious in intent without permission. On the other end of the spectrum, the white hat hacks against a black hat in order to protect the computer system network, access the company's resources by protecting them and giving the right permission. In the middle of your seat, the gray hat, who hacks for evil and not for good, they are neutral in their cause and usually try to sell their skills for monetary gains like a mercenary. So they're both, which is a bit of a danger if you don't have the money to pay for them. Now, black hats. Black hat hackers are normally responsible for creating malware, which is frequently used to infiltrate computerized networks and systems. They're usually motivated by personal or financial gain, but can also participate in espionage, protest, or merely enjoy the thrill. Black hat hackers can be anyone from amateurs to highly experienced and knowledgeable individuals looking to spread malware, steal private data like login credentials, along with financial and personal information, often accessing their targets and depending on their motives. Black hat hackers can either steal, manipulate, or destroy the system data. Black hat hackers has also good knowledge in many hacking tools and know how to program them and how to program the hacking tools. They're very good at stealing research data from a company, stealing money from credit cards, hack email accounts, and so on. Now, going forward, the most important one. A white hat hacker is a computer network security professional and has non-malicious intent whenever he breaks into a security system. They have a deep knowledge of computer networking, network protocol, system admin, know quite a few number of operating systems. They are also good with a good knowledge in hacking with the required tools and the know-how to program the hacking tools as well. So a white hat hacker can conduct vulnerability assessment, pen test, also known as an ethical hacker. They're often employed or contracted by companies and governmental entities, working as security specialists looking for vulnerabilities. While they employ the same methods as black hat hackers, they have always and have permission from the system owners, making their actions completely legal. White hat hackers implement strategies like pen tests, monitor in-place security systems, along with vulnerability assessments. Ethical hacking is the term used to describe the nature of a white hat hacker's actions, which can be learned through independent sources of training, conferences, and certifications. Whoa, don't worry. So a gray hat hacker is someone who is in between white hat and a black hat. Gray hat normally do the hacking without the permissions from the administrators of the network is hacking, but he will expose the network vulnerabilities to the network admins and offer a fix for money. At the same, or as the name suggests, these individuals utilize aspects from black hat and white hat hackers, but will usually seek out vulnerabilities in a system without an owner's permission or knowledge. While they report any issues they encounter to the owner, they'll also request some sort of compensation or incentive. Should the owner not respond or reject their proposition, the gray hat hacker might exploit the newfound flaws. Gray hat hackers are malicious by nature, but do seek to have their efforts rewarded. Since gray hat hackers don't have permissions to access the system by its owner, their actions are ultimately considered illegal. The next step, we are at the rise of white hat hackers. At the time, it was the largest single bug bounty payout by Facebook. Facebook had invited the public to break into its website and seek out vulnerabilities that malicious hackers could exploit to attack the company or its users. Witten got paid for finding a bug that would have let any talented hacker with a phone take over your Facebook account. In the security world jargon, hackers are either white or black hat, derived from the old Western movies where you knew who the good guy was based on the color of their hat. Now, open source is widely accepted and even celebrated. I see similar shift in attitude toward white hat hackers, where I see cybersecurity customers now seeing the power of openness and collaboration. Computer security is a career with 0% unemployment, so the real world training could be invaluable. Facebook ended up hiring one of its best bug hunters, Reginaldo Silva, a Brazilian engineer who got $33,000 payout in 2014. While the hackers, it's about keeping their skills sharp. So there is some real money in white hat hacking game. As of January 20th, HackerOne has brokered fixes for almost 17,000 bugs and payments of something close to about $6 million. That may be just a silver of the cybersecurity industry. That's worth about $75 billion, but it's an important and growing part of the ecosystem. Hacking, ransomware, and cyber attacks. It seems like news about data breaches is becoming harder and harder to avoid. Nearly every day, we're hearing about online security compromised servers. And hacking is a big business. I mean, we've all just recently survived an election that was dominated by a talk of WikiLeaks, emails, and Russian meddling. So I'm probably not telling you anything new you don't know about. It's not always financially motivated. In the case of ransomware, it is typically is. But hackers have been known to break into White House computers, tamper with the FBI's website, and steal sensitive data. Hackers have compromised CIA's computers and website of the Ohio government, for example. Hackers hid the social media accounts of Albuquerque Journal twice in the span of about 2 weeks. Oftentimes, it's either politically motivated or a way of gaining notoriety to the fellow hackers themselves. Now, enter the white hacker again. In an effort to crack down on computer security, many large companies are hiring their own hackers to discover vulnerabilities in their systems before they can be exploited by hackers. Companies like EC Council have begun offering training and certification for certified ethical hackers in order to meet this need in the workforce. And white hat hackers can make a ton of money. Starting salaries typically start around $72,000 and can reach $100,000. Consultants are typically paid $15,000 to $45,000 per job. As the stakes are tied to hacking continue to rise, I suspect we'll begin to see corporate American or even the world turn to white hat hackers with increasing frequency. And this isn't the last you're likely to read about the growing phenomenon. Now, white hat hackers, also known as ethical hackers, are often hired by companies to locate vulnerabilities or bugs in their systems. That might allow the bad hackers to break into their cyber networks and compromise whatever it is they're trying to keep secure. The new generation has a responsibility to make the internet safer and better. White hat hackers have been stealing the tech spotlight, praised for protecting everything from valuable Instagram influencer accounts to detecting cyber weaknesses at multi-million-dollar companies, and they are being paid well for their efforts. BugCrowd, a platform that crowdsources bug hunters for other companies, recently released a report on the economics of white hat hackers. According to BugCrowd, the average yearly payout of the top 50 white hat hackers in 2018 was something around $150,000. White hat hackers tend to be young, digital natives who consider screens as essential as food and water. Now, seeing the rise of data breaches, white hat hackers are motivated to work alongside companies helping prevent the next large-scale hack. Under the Hackernet ecosystem, for example, the hackers can upload their bug reports, and based on their severity of the bug reported, the hackers will be compensated accordingly. As the ecosystem is powered by the blockchain, the process of bug reporting and compensation is transparent. Furthermore, Hackers can remain anonymous as they are compensated with the ATH tokens, which is a method of payment in the Hackernet system and holds many valuable utilities. The platform also caters to organizations of all sizes, making sure that cybersecurity is affordable for all. Thus, this makes Hackernet an enticing platform for both parties to partake in. Now, to continue, as we say, cyber and the story of the cybersecurity has always evolved, and the message seems to be clear that one of the smartest ways to combat possible crime is by combining the most updated security systems with the minds of the actual hackers, individuals who are not just trained in recognizing cybersecurity weaknesses, but also know how someone would attempt to breach the ecosystem. Now, let's look at the 10 reasons why to become ethical hacker. First one, as mentioned, ever-growing opportunities. As consumers expect businesses to look after their data, business owners are becoming increasingly and aware of their cyber responsibilities. With introduction of GDPR across Europe, more and more businesses of every size and industry is going to be needing to ensure their defenses are kept malicious criminals out of the way. This means job opportunities are not only going to increase, giving you a better shot at landing the perfect job. High salaries, woo. Now, with starting salaries averaging 25,000, well, let's say something like $35,000 already, higher demand for smaller workforce could push these up in the next few years. Since the skill set is so extensive and a great deal of training goes into being great at hacking, senior roles in pen testing and white hat hacking can be upwards of $60,000 to $80,000, making for great career progression for dedicated candidates. Going now, with the more sophisticated defense technology, cyber criminals will need to constantly think of new strategies to try and break through a business protection, meaning you'll always be kept on your toes in the face of new kind of attacks. So industry constantly moves. It's a constant revolution. Now, fourth, similarly, cybercriminals are never going to stop. Whether it's updating old strategies to keep classic threats at bay or developing new methods of blocking criminals, businesses will always need protection and stay ahead of the game and keep the trust of their customers. How about the soft skills? Now, many businesses operate red team, blue team system where security employees form teams and attempt to break into and defend the system. This is a great way to develop your ability to work as a team and build confidence in order to move up the progression ladder, which is very important, your soft skills. Number 6. Now, social engineering includes the ability to manipulate employees into giving away personal data, opening the door to breaches. This can easily be writing convincing phishing emails, but it can also see you attempting to penetrate physical doors, as many as pen testers attempt to gain entry to the building by convincing the staff to hold the door or tailgating into access secured areas. This kind of task shows the very exciting, intense nature of ethical hacking. Job satisfaction. Now, for those with a passion for cybersecurity, learning how to think like a hacker and being able to outsmart them is the best part of the job. Now, not many industries, now for number 8, for example, opportunity to switch from black to white. Now, not many industries welcome the exact people they've been trying to keep out. So, for those who have already tried their hand at hacking, switching your black hat for white hat is a great way to stay within the law, get paid good money, and still do what you love. which is probably hacking. Going down, fun of hacking without breaking law. You get all the fun out hacking, but you also get added bonus of your work helping outsmart other hackers on the dark side. That's what white hat hackers are about. You do things within the law. And obviously, number 10, the cool job title. Overall, for those with a special talent for technology, those who are looking for a way to capitalize on their passion, the realm of ethical hacking offers great opportunities for an advanced career, high salaries, and a rewarding job experience. What are you going to say when somebody asks you, what do you do? Ethical hacker. You're bound to get a lot of interesting responses. You're also likely to be seen like Matrix Flash before people's eyes, but we see that as a bit of a bonus. Let's look at the famous ex-Black Hat hackers converted. Now, a former Black Hat hacker named as Kevin Poulsen is infamous for hacking the stunt that he did in June 1960. He's probably now close to 60, a journalist. Poulsen hacked into the telephone lines of Los Angeles radio station to make sure he was the 102nd caller to win the prize for a Porsche 944 S2. When the FBI learned about this trick, they pursued him and he went underground. He was later found, arrested, went to prison 5 years. He was the first American to be released from prison with a ban on the use of computer for 3 years. When he was featured on NBC's Unsolved Mysteries, the phone lines of the show mysteriously crashed again. Now, Poulsen now works as a contributing editor with the Daily Beast and has distanced himself from his past as a hacker. Recently, he has done several investigative reports for Social Good. Do you know this guy? The iPhone hacker. Now, August 2007. This guy was 17 years old. George Hotz unlocked an iPhone, becoming the first known person to do so. Unlocked iPhones were of high value, as then they could be used with any other carriers that was not available to Apple or AT&T. When he unlocked his second iPhone, he traded it for a Nissan 350Z and three 8-gig iPhones with Certicell founder Terry Dayton. His was a hardware-based unlocking method, which was the rage until an anonymous group discovered a software-based one. In July 2010, Hotz declared that due to unwanted personal attention and because he was demotivated with technology, he was discontinuing his hacking activities. In 2011, he posted a copy of the root keys of Sony's PlayStation 3, following which Sony sued him. What was last known about him was he was working with an American vehicle automation machine learning company named Coma AI. Kevin David Mitnick was a very controversial hacker who was arrested in 1995. He used clone cell phones to hide his real location, and he did so many things in the past. And he used social engineering to get into access with many people, walked into server farms and got access to anything. He was arrested in 1988 for 12 months, followed 3 years in supervised release, but Mitnick hacked into another computer system before supervised release ended and went into hiding. Today, he now runs a security firm called Mitnick Security Consulting LLC and is also the co-owner of KnowBe4, a provider for a platform for simulated phishing testing and security awareness training. But not to take him far, Mitnick, using just the sound of his mouth, could actually use a payphone to hack into NORAD and launch nuclear missiles, which the judge never actually believed. Linus Torvalds, Linux. Linus is another white hat hacker. His hacking days began with an old Commodore VIC-20, eventually with a Sinclair QL, both with which he modified considerably. On the QL in particular, he programmed his own text editor, and even the Pac-Man clone he dubbed Coolman. 91, he got an Intel AT386 and began creating Linux, which is today used and is originally intended on using to be the open source project which it grew to be the most hacker-friendly and secure operating system available. And you probably know him by seeing his logo, which is a penguin. The Pentagon opened up to hackers and fixed over 3,000 bugs, more than 100 of which were high or critical severity, and paid over $300,000 to hackers in the process, led by Defense Digital Service Division, the U.S. Department of Defense. The U.S. federal government had invited white hat hackers to find security flaws in systems run by the Pentagon, the Air Force, and the Army. Read the Wired story of the immensely successful Hack the Pentagon program and the HackerOne's ongoing work with the DoD. Do you know the movie Ghostbusters, the real one? They had a nice song in there, and I'm keeping one of it. If there's something strange in your computer, who are you going to call? If there's something weird and it won't look good, who are you going to call? I would probably say call a white hat hacker today. Now, yes, you can earn money with ethical hacking, but if you just refer a book or two and deface your own website, that is not really an achievement. But never fail. Never fail hope. There are many websites which help you learn, and ethical hacking is a field where constant learning processes continues with earning. You can just Google ethical hacking jobs and you can get many chances. Try them all. Don't get choosy at first. Gain some experience. Don't expect to break big from start, but never stop trying. Once you have gained some knowledge, you are going to go for the next level. Also, as the internet users are increasing at an alarming rate, exploitation chances are increasing heavily too. So there comes your role to be the protector. All the best. Hope you will do great with your work. And don't hack some high websites or so, hoping that they will reward you for finding the bug. If you are able to do so, inform them ASAP without doing any exploitation. And if they see it valid, you can get a good reward, as well as a good job directly. But don't do anything stupid thinking that. Most importantly, keep learning, keep earning. Here we have a list of key findings in 2018. This comes from the HackerOne report, which I'm not going to read. But the internet gets safer every time a vulnerability is found and fixed. HackerOne community of security researchers are doing their part today, and day in and day out, to do just that. Hunt the issues and responsibility report the risks to organizations so they can be remediated safely before being exploited by criminals. The community is strong and it is growing. There have been tenfold increasing registered users within the last 2 years. Hacking is being taught for college credit in top-tier universities like UC Berkeley, Carnegie Mellon, UC Council University. Hackers around the world are earning more money through the bug hunting more than ever before. Bounties are a great equalizer with opportunity for all. Some hackers are earning over 16 times what they would have made as a full-time software engineer in their home country. Now, money remains a top reason for why bug bounty hackers are, but it's fallen from the first place to fourth place compared in 2016. Above all, hackers are motivated by the opportunity to learn tips and techniques, to be challenged and to have opportunity or have fun, tied for second. Other top reasons for hacking include career advancement, the opportunity to protect and defend, and to do good in the world. Overall, they want to improve and build up on their skill sets, have fun, contribute to be a safer internet in the process as we go today. Creativity of thought comes from diversity. In June 27, Lookout and HackerOne teamed up to produce a security education event, bringing together female engineers for a workshop on hacking and cybersecurity. The vast majority of the hackers on the HackerOne platform were male, actually. Creativity of thought comes from diversity, with an aim to empower and educate all those interested in hacking. The need for female hackers or ethical hackers are even more important in the security world. We need to change 33% to 50% over the next few years. This slide obviously covers the average salary whilst looking at years of experience, but most of all, the gender breakdown is very, very important. Are you going to make the internet safer? That's up to you. Some of the most critical vulnerabilities in the internet's history have been discovered and resolved thanks to the efforts of hackers fueled by curiosity and altruism. Acalvio Technologies' chief security architect, Kris puts it in this way: hackers, unfortunately, are often portrayed as the bad guys, whereas I would argue that for the last 20 to 30 years, we're actually the good guys. Our job is to help you understand risk and how you actually mitigate it. The invaluable trends of vulnerability, disclosure, policies, receiving regulatory and industry support are one big example how the tide is shifting. Creating safe harbor language in your vulnerability disclosure policy for ethical hackers who are trying to help with the result in your company being more secure, your customers' data staying out of the wrong hands, and an army of security advocates in your corner. So I end this presentation or webinar right now, and you have my details. You can email me, you can connect to me on LinkedIn, or you can Twitter me a message, as well as you can send to Trump as well. So thank you again, and I definitely look forward to probably talking to all of you again.